Let's talk about I'm gonna be better than you thought. I promise I won't jealous. You don't deserve it all. I'm gonna be better. Let's talk about. Let's talk about.
All right, welcome back. This is the Frontline, where we are fighting for financial freedom. We're going to be taking another sweep at the market. This is actually my second live stream today. We really have been talking about the market. I think it was maybe like 3 hours, 4 hours ago. But still, I think that the situation requires us to have like strong communications. Right in this kind of times, I really cannot make like individual videos on certain coins. For example, like dedicating a whole video to Jasmine or a whole video to ICP or XRP or any other altcoin that I usually talk about, because the situation is very much volatile. And if I make a video, I'm very sure that after 3 hours the video is not going to be valid at all, because the situation is very much fluid. So I'm going to be coming to you in this live stream, and it's just a matter of us talking together, and you tell me what we want to take a look at. And then also I'm going to be giving my views basically on the rest of the market, on what the market is going to be doing. I will tell you obviously the kind of decision that I just made earlier today. I was talking to patrons and I was highlighting that right now there are some things which I'm in massive profits in, and I just thought that it is a wise decision to take at least 50% of my profits and say 50% in cash and then 50% in crypto. Crypto is not something that I wish to give up on totally 100%. So I realized that there is a massive opportunity in crypto, and I don't want just to blow away a possible opportunity right there. So crypto is always coming up and down and stuff like that. This is something that is not new, but right in this situation, it seems like the situation is much more complicated than crypto. The kind of moves that we are seeing are not only isolated to crypto. The macroeconomic factors are also in play right now. It seems like the world is in a very chaotic space. I mean, everywhere you are looking, even if you take a look at the Olympics and stuff like that, crazy things are happening left, right, and center. We are seeing ever since the Fed announced that they are likely going to be cutting in September. We also saw that the markets didn't like that news very much. We saw a weak jobs report and things like this. We are also seeing Kamala Harris leading Trump in a lot of polls, and the market is definitely perceiving that as bad for the economy. So a lot of things are coming together in a negative way, obviously, and this is kind of pushing the price to the downside. We are also seeing some important charts like the Japanese yen versus the United States dollar here, and we earlier today in the live stream we were comparing what actually has happened in the past with this kind of a chart. What does that actually mean? And the honest truth is that we have seen this kind of behavior and environment 5 times before in the past, and 2 of the times we saw the Japanese yen getting stronger, and then the other 2 times obviously we saw that it even got weaker. So to come up with a conclusion right at this point does not make any sort of sense. So yeah, a lot of things happening in the market, a lot of moving parts. As I said already, the world is actually looking like it's in a very chaotic space. We'll see what eventually happens. It's actually giving me the kind of vibes that we were having in 2020, right before we actually had a huge rise to the upside. I mean, obviously it came months later, but I remember in that month Ethereum was right around $90 or something like that. But by the time we get to January 2021, Ethereum was now something like 1,000 something. I mean, it was really crazy. So this kind of moments, they've been happening in the crypto market for a very long time. I'm very much sure that if anybody is accustomed to volatility, it is a crypto investor. So I am also somebody who knows how to manage my risk, and I've just decided to take out 50% of my cash out of the market, and then the rest is gonna be staying there. Really, come rain, come thunder, we'll see what eventually happens there. But still, I was actually stealing from Berkshire's playbook right there. You saw that they sold 50% of their holdings in Apple, and they're sitting on right around $277 billion in cash right now. These guys are very good investors, and they usually have a great feel of how the market is behaving and stuff like that. So a lot of things happening in the market right now. Some of the reasons we covered them earlier in the live stream, saying that one of the reasons is that unemployment rate actually was higher than anticipated, indicating that there is going to be some kind of a depression this year. So let's take a look at what Kamel San says. He says stock market still dropping, big tech laying off. Looks like we are very close to a recession. Yeah, a lot of people are talking about a recession, but we also have to kind of think about it in this kind of a way that what if the Fed didn't want a hard landing, right? So they know that it's going to be like a very long time, at least a month from now, that they're going to be announcing the next Federal Reserve policy. The market is already pricing in some kind of a recession. When they eventually announce this kind of a thing, it's not going to have like a massive impact as it would have had if they just came out of nowhere and they said, you know what, we are cutting one more time. By the way, the reason why people are scared of rate cuts is because of this chart here, which you are seeing that down below here. Maybe I should actually go with different colors with these lines, right? So let's go ahead and choose different colors so that I can be able to explain much better. I'm colorblind myself, so I'm not able to tell differences in colors. But I think this one right here down below is blue, and the other one is, I don't know, yellow, and whatever the color is mixed with. Now, down here is the federal rate hike or, cut, whatever the case may be. And we are seeing that for the most part, when the Federal Reserve cuts rates here, the market dumps, the stock market, right? Now, why does the stock market really have any significance? It's because when you also take a look at the stock market versus the Bitcoin price chart or the crypto market in general, they actually have a very direct correlation, right? They don't move together right on the dot, but they actually go together for the most part. So if the stock market is not doing well, there is no documentation in history ever since the inception of Bitcoin that Bitcoin can do well in an environment when the stock market is not doing well. We don't have that data just yet. All we know is that if the stock market is doing well, Bitcoin also does well. So now we could actually be using this stock market chart here to try and predict what Bitcoin is going to be doing. And for the most part, once the Fed starts cutting rates here, we are seeing the market is dropping. We're also seeing the same thing back then in 2007. This example that I was just giving was 2000, and we saw, the stock market crashing right in the situation right around 1989. That was not the case. The Fed cut rates, but then again the market even continued higher. So you see, we also have got data that is not so much clear, but I would say for the most part, here we've got how many examples? 1, 2, 3, 4. Out of the 4 examples that we have, 3 times when the Federal Reserve was cutting rates, the stock market was actually going down, right? So yeah, the conclusion that one could actually make here is that when we see the first rate cut, we could see the market dumping to the downside. All right, so this is where the fear is stemming from, and people have also been talking about the Japanese yen and all sorts of things. But I won't be surprised by the time we get tomorrow, because look, don't underestimate this thing. The situation could really unwind into an unmitigated disaster anytime from now, and we could literally see one of the biggest crashes that we have ever seen in modern history. Are these guys gonna sit back and just let it unwind like that? My first thought is that they would not. First of all, it's an election year, and I think the current administration will do as much as they can just to save their behinds a little bit until the election at least. But they already have a candidate which personally I don't like too much, so I would also think that they don't like her too much. Maybe they just want her to lose the election, and then we'll see from the next 4 years or something like that. But I would really not be surprised by the time we get to tomorrow and we see some kind of a statement or something that just comes out to try and save the markets, because the situation, if it just continues like this for the next 2 trading days of the week, without any sort of intervention or something like that, this could actually turn out to be very bad. Now, if you are thinking that is far-fetched, remember when we were crashing down here with during that FTX crash and stuff like that. Remember when those three banks collapsed and something like that, like right out of the gates, they just came out and said, you know what, we've got a plan to mitigate this kind of a thing. We'll do this, do this. So that's the kind of mitigation that I'm expecting sometime this week. I'm thinking even tomorrow, because if the markets continue dumping like this is not going to be too good. Just last week, in one trading day, $2.9 trillion was wiped out, but that was not the only one. Before that, I think it was on the 11th of July or something like that, we had also seen something like a $1.9 trillion, just being wiped out of the stock market. So I don't think they will let the situation continue like this. They have to come up with something, and you know the deal, right? The money printer is going to be on fire 100%. That's just going to be flooding dollars left, right, and center. And it's going to be chasing real money like Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies that we like to hold, right? So that's the situation right now. Immediate short term, if this thing is not mitigated, like until next week, I'm talking about tomorrow or something like that, it could actually unwind into something that is much bigger. But you know what, we are talking too much about scary things here. It's not all doom and gloom right at this point. Let me also show you futures right in the crypto market, right? Ignore the noise for a second, right? And just take a look at the chart from a technical analyst standpoint. And you see that, let me go to the monthly time from here and show you what has happened in the past when Bitcoin has topped, right? Because really we are interested in crypto right at this point. Let me just go ahead and clear everything. We start from the beginning, right? So what we are seeing is that for the most part, if you are topping with Bitcoin and heading into a bear cycle, you usually have got these, I found it. You usually have this kind of, weeks to the upside, indicating that there was a lot of selling pressure right there. You also see the same thing here. So this was the double top that we had, and then obviously we head into the bear cycle. But, even the situation here, we had retraced, and then we just saw that on the monthly time frame, we saw this, showing that there was just massive pressure there. If you just look at this candle, there is no doubt that there is selling pressure there. And then it was also the same situation here. You were seeing like a massive selling candle. What did I do? I just used the chart, which doesn't have much data, but still, I think you get the idea. Now, coming to where the Bitcoin price is sitting right now, we don't necessarily have anything like that at all. So it leads me to believe that the pump is not yet done. But also at the same time, if we take a look at the underlying indicators, probably I should be doing this with a chart that has got much more data. Forgive me for that. But still, let's see if we can pull it out. Right? I want the all-time history index of Bitcoin, and then maybe I can build my case nice and easy. So bear with me, guys. I want to make this as easier to understand as possible, right? So I have been pointing out to those weeks on the top. I think we've already seen that we've got a week here on the weekly time frame. We also have got a week to the top, indicating that there is massive selling pressure there. Pretty much the same thing that we were seeing here as well. And we are also seeing the same thing back then in 2011. So it really has been clear when Bitcoin is topping that the monthly candle at the very top there has got a huge wick to the upside, indicating that there was a lot of selling pressure there. Now, coming to where we are today, we don't have anything like that just yet, right? I shouldn't say it just yet, because our top was around $73,000. Now we're already down to something like 58,000, but we haven't seen anything like that. All right. So here I will be leaning towards saying that we're not topping just yet. But if I take a look at the underlying indicators here, meaning the relative strength index on the monthly time frame, it's really clear that whenever we are crossing the yellow line, when the blue line is crossing below the yellow line there, it has marked that it was going to be lights out for the Bitcoin price. So we were seeing the same thing here as well. Even this a period, you could have said, if you want to extrapolate maybe this line here, you could say, wow, this line was coming out like this, right? So it had crossed here, right here, and this line here. So you could say, you could actually be arguing that it had crossed the yellow line already there, so it started crashing. So we're actually seeing that whenever we are crossing the yellow line here, below the yellow line, I should be saying, on the monthly time frame, it has indicated that Bitcoin is going to be headed into a bear cycle. Now, coming to where we are today, we haven't confirmed that just yet, because the monthly candle hasn't closed just yet. In fact, we're just at the beginning. Today is the 5th, I guess. according to where I am. But yeah, we haven't seen any confirmation, so we'll need to wait until the end of the month. If we have that confirmation of the blue line closing below the yellow one, I would actually be now saying with a very high degree of certainty that we are now headed for a bear cycle. But for now, we don't have anything that is showing that just yet. So my fingers will be crossed that by the time we get to the end of this month, the RSI is not close or not below that yellow line there on the monthly time frame. That is going to be something that is very important for me. That's what I can say for Bitcoin right now. But I would also say that again, just taking a look at the chart from a technical analysis standpoint, we haven't broken anything just yet to confirm that we are bearish. In fact, if we take a look at our patterns right there, our daily patterns, daily time frame pattern, we are still within that channel that we have been talking about of late. I don't usually talk about Bitcoin on this channel because people are not interested in Bitcoin, but obviously in times of crisis like where we are today, the focus should be on BTC, right? So this is a channel that we are seeing here. It hasn't gotten validated just yet. We could still fall all the way down to something like $54,000, still find a support level there and continue to the upside. So yeah, it's one of those things where it's so much information on the chart and you really don't know which one to pick. That's why I was saying that I'm 50% out of my crypto and 50% in cash right now, because this is, I mean, I find it like a sweet spot, honestly, because I have the I have the best of both worlds. Man, I couldn't put that one out anyway, no problem. So there is still this possibility of this bull flag taking Bitcoin to over $200,000. Very, very crazy to say anything like that right now, but I think in terms when the price is crashing to the downside, to say any sort of price prediction is crazy to anybody. Who would have known down here when, I mean, this time around in 2020 the world was almost over. I mean, could you have imagined the scenario in which the boat wasn't going to just go to hell straight up? It was going to be very difficult to try and imagine anything good coming out of this pandemic here. But the money printers got to work, and then we saw BTC rising 15x. Right now in the situation where we are, if these guys decide that, look, we should not get into a depression just yet, because the stock market has just been trending, I don't know for the last how many years, right, to the upside. We could literally have a crash as big as like what people saw back then in 1929, right? That would be really bad. You see, people I know people who have actually made careers talking about the Great Depression, the Great Depression. My first thought is that these guys would try to mitigate this kind of a disaster, and more cash is going to be flowing into the market. What happens when more cash is in the market? Things like Bitcoin are really going to be flying to the upside, and we could see 200,000 Bitcoin. I think it's a very much realistic price to get. But obviously, if I had said that when BTC is like maybe at 75,000, people will believe me, right? Now I'm saying it at 58,000, and it's very hard for anybody to believe that, because people are basing their price targets according to their emotions. And you'll see, if we continue like this, maybe in the coming week or something like that, you're gonna hear people even calling for prices which are lower, and that's what is going to be much more popular for people to talk about lower prices, right? Because that's just how the market has always worked before. So fundamentally speaking here for Bitcoin, I mean, I should actually be saying that from a technical analysis standpoint, nothing is really broken for the for us to say this is like really, really bearish for Bitcoin, at least in my humble opinion. If anything, the only straight indicator that is indicating that we could have problems is that RSI on the monthly time frame. Now, the problem with that is that we have to wait until the end of August for us to even come to that kind of a conclusion. So, yeah, you can already see how complicated the whole thing is, right? It's really, really bad. But what I would say right now is I wouldn't want anybody to rush into some kind of crazy decisions, like I'm selling everything and I'm going, because even like altcoins have really been destroyed, man. They've really been destroyed, and it's much more likely right now that they're gonna see a bounce rather than them continuing to crush to the downside. It's really terrible for a lot of altcoins right now. Only a few of them are holding up strong. Even, I mean, things like Tron, yeah, holding up pretty well, and things like, you know, Solana is not doing too well, to be honest with you, but we'll see what eventually happens. You know what, let me get into the chat and we will talk a little bit right there. So Vlad says that all that I can see is that you know what you are talking about, but I still respect your opinion. All right, all that I can see is that you know what you are talking about, but I still respect your opinion. Thanks, man. I respect you being here as well. Can you imagine if I was just talking to myself and nobody was listening, right? It wouldn't be a nice conversation. Anyway, let's go to Tess. Rate cuts are bullish for risk on assets, so I don't honestly agree with your take. All right, you know what? Let's go back to that chart of rate cuts, right? I think it was this one right now, right? So I hope you are still in there. If you are still in there, can you just highlight by saying that I'm here? Because I don't want to be making the point when you are not here anyway, right? So just indicate to me that you are still here, and then we can have this conversation. I will show you what my thoughts are and what the chart has always showed right there. So let me wait for your response if you are still here. If you're no longer here, I mean, there's no point in talking about, unless somebody else has the same kind of argument with you, right? And by the way, it's not really my opinion. I'm just trying to interpret what the chart is showing here. So I'm waiting for your response if you are still there, right? Camel Sam says the Great Depression was before monetary policy. The Fed acts to avoid that kind of I think hopefully from happening again. Well, I think it's a good point. It's really a good point that like before 1929. There was no Fed, right, with like any policy and stuff like that, so they will try. That was my point when I said that by the time we get to maybe Tuesday or something like that, even tomorrow on Monday, we could see some kind of a statement, anything just to calm the markets, because we could really see an unmitigated disaster. This is gonna be crazy. So yeah, you're right in a way, because they don't really have too many tools on their hands. You know what these guys do when the market is doing too good, right? They crush the market, and then when the market is not doing too bad, they try to resuscitate the economy. I mean, it's I don't even know why we have these guys in charge, right? So they will either print money or they'll cut rates. I mean, anyway, you know, they are the ones who went to the top universities, to the elite universities. So we'll see what eventually happens. But going back to the Federal Reserve rate, you know, funding rate chart here, it shows that for the most part, when the Fed starts cutting, you know, the chart really falls to the downside. I will show you the latest example. Okay, it was very different from the other ones that we have seen. So that was back then in 2019, almost right before the pandemic, right? There was a fade, rate cut right there, and then the market continued pumping. But then again, it dropped very drastically right around March 2021. So yeah, if you take a look at when the rate cut started and when the market actually eventually dropped to, you could also conclude that there was a drop in the market, right? So that's number one. And then you're also seeing here the second example. He was back then in 2007. Sorry, you saw that the government cut the rates here, and then the market dropped. I mean, it's really that simple. And then we also saw back then in 2000, pretty much the same thing. The market dropped. Now this was a different situation in 1989, because they cut the rates here. That was the first cut after series of hikes, and then the market, to be honest with you, really didn't move much, but it was up, down, up, down. You really can't conclude anything. Then back here in 81, there was, a cut here, and then the market dropped as well. So for the most part, it's leaning towards the conclusion that if we see a first rate cut, the market is actually going to be dropping. But that's not the end of the story, right? I don't think we should actually just be going into that conclusion. Yes, we are seeing the market dropping initially, but also please notice what happens when the words are now kept constant after this cutting period, the market really finds a bottom and starts pumping harder. So I think it's really going to be very important how fast they're going to be cutting the words, because if they go cut within like a period of 6-8 months or something like that, very aggressively, that also means that's how fast we're going to be getting to our bottom, because that's what the data is actually showing to us. So I think it's really going to be very important, the weight at which they are going to be, cutting the weight. I don't know if that makes sense really, but that's what we are seeing from the data here. It says inflation is equals to high rates. Okay, it's true, 100%. Inflation is equal to high rates, but the Fed right now is in a situation in which they are between a rock and a hard place, because if they continue with this monetary policy that they have right now, they're going to literally destroy the economy. They're going to have that hard landing, which they didn't want. And I don't know how long they're going to be holding up, because we have got like about 3 months to an election. After that, a new president is coming. Are they going to wait it out, blame it on Donald Trump and Republicans? I really have no idea, although I think that's actually something that is very much likely to. And, it's a whole bunch of, it's crazy. It's crazy. That's why I was saying that the easiest way out in this kind of a situation is for them to come out tomorrow with some kind of a statement that can maybe calm the markets a little bit. And we'll see. I mean, we're going to be living the moment together. The world is on fire right now. We are seeing what is happening with Israel and Iran. We are seeing what is happening at the Olympics. We are seeing what is happening in the United Kingdom. I mean, have you taken a look at that? It's a disaster. It's really a disaster. Japan, it's crazy. So if you guys have got any altcoins that you want us to take a look at before I go off stream, I think we can talk about those ones. Not everything is all gloom and doomstown right at this point. There's some things which are also showing some kind of strength right now, right? I know you guys want to talk about Jasmine, but I haven't had that request yet. So if you want us to talk about a specific altcoin, feel free to share me your altcoins. I came to the live stream exactly for that, right? Because as I said, I couldn't make a video for any single altcoin. It doesn't make any sense, but at this point the situation is very much fluid. So I think we would rather take a look at it all together at the same time, and we see how far we can get, right? So let me also just go through the list that I have right here, right? The biggest gainer today is up 4.2%. This is really insane. And these are coins that nobody knows, right? I have them in my portfolio because I'm just a degen, but nobody knows about Gen AI, Genbox. Nobody knows about Root Network. This is Futureverse, Band Protocol. This is a trade that I actually posted in the Patreon. It's up 10% right now. I think if you're in profits, maybe you could actually just go ahead and take the rest of your profits. Tron is looking great. Apple, okay, no problem. These guys, they sold 50% of their earnings. Let's see what the chart is saying. They consider 4% unemployment is record low, and the economy is still strong. It seems like target unemployment is possibly 5%. Well, to be honest with you, I'm not really an expert in this kind of situations. You sound like you are much more informed. What I do for the most part is I look at the chart and take a look at different scenarios and what has happened in the past. But all I know is right now the Fed actually is under pressure, both from Democrats and Republicans, right? The Democrats are saying that you should have actually had a cut because likely it's going to help them, in the economy. I don't know where they're looking at their data, but that's what they obviously think. The Republicans are saying that you cannot cut that right before an election, right? Because it seems like you're helping one side or the other. So it's a total mess right at this point. We'll see what eventually happens. We'll see what happens. We'll see what eventually happens right then. Things are dead, man. Altcoins, they are losing support levels left, right, and center like it's nobody's business. But I wonder, how come Tron is still holding up like very high like this? What's happening? Can you imagine it's holding stronger than Bitcoin? This is interesting. very much interesting. I've been looking at it for quite some time right now, and it really exercises some strength right there. So everything is falling down. Even gold itself is falling down. Wait a second, which is this candle here? No, let's go back to the daily. Yeah, massive indecision candles showing up for gold right there. I mean, can you take a look at this? Look at this. The market is really undecided right now. So yeah, I was looking at one other chart, right, which really gave me hope, right? Because I was really wondering, like, what happens in situations when gold is pumping really, really hard? Does it leave Bitcoin behind and just goes alone? The good news is that there is no point in time when, like, gold is really pumping hard that it leaves Bitcoin. Actually, it's Bitcoin that leaves gold behind. So yeah, it's one of those things where you're like, I mean, should I root for gold right at this point? But I think that the data is also very much clear that whenever, you know, gold is pumping really hard, Bitcoin tends to follow within, you know, obviously a certain kind of a leg between months and days, but still the chart really doesn't say that gold can go alone and leave Bitcoin behind. So I think that's great news, honestly. Let's see, to put down on salaries. Okay, they consider 4% unemployment record, and it seems like possible. Okay, to put on Zcash is already down 99.9%. Satoshi Nakamoto says Zcash is down 99%. And you know, surprisingly, that Zcash chart is holding stronger than most of these other altcoins for one reason or the other. Look at this. It found its bottom back on what? This was, oh yeah, something like the 1st of July. And it's up from that low to where it is right at this point, 98%. That's crazy. But obviously, overall, if you take a look at it in general, it has crashed 99.9%. This is not a bad project by any means. Not a bad project by any means, but you know that privacy coins have actually been hit really hard in this market condition. So yeah, it's holding up strong locally from where it is sitting right now, from where it was making its bounce, but it just actually crashed 99.9%. He is right, 99%. A lot of these other altcoins have also crashed big like that. I mean, if I just take a sweep right across the market, there are a few things which are up. This is JST down, right? This is Solana down. You know, it got rejected at that Fibonacci retracement level. It's down. It couldn't make it way into a new all-time high right there. Telcoin was popular some time back. It's down. I mean, rejected. It's down. Let's quickly take a look at Zcash. We already took a look at it. This is Yield Guild Games. I love the project, but the tokenomics are not too good. The tokenomics are just not too good, and for that reason, it pumps and then it also drops very hard. So this is, you know, another MetaDOS new project. I mean, forget about it. This one you could literally buy it later in the future for $10 and you grab millions of tokens from these ones. Let's see what eventually happens by the Dow Jones Industrial Average breaking below its support level. Yeah, something has to happen. Something really has to happen next week. Let's see from a Fibonacci retracement perspective, where was this rejected, right? So top to bottom, the kind of rejection that it got is not something that is very much friendly. 702 Fibonacci retracement level, not too good. Not too good. Origin protocol, not too good. It's really down as well. It has bad tokenomics, this one too. Aethia, yeah, this is another project that has very bad tokenomics. It's good fundamentally speaking, but the tokenomics are not good. It keeps adding like more and more tokens into circulation every single day. And in situations where we have today, like when the market is bearish like this one, like when those tokens are added into the circulation, who is going to be buying them, right? The price dumps. So ever since it came into the market, right, yeah, we can say that, yeah, there is a possibility that it was overpriced right at the beginning. So for example, from the very top right there, it has already crashed 60% and we haven't even started the bear cycle just yet. Nvidia, yeah, things are a disaster, guys. I don't want to lie to you. Nvidia is dropping something like 28% within a few days. Thank you. Congratulations. Meta is trying to pump back. Let's see what Meta eventually does right there. Yeah, by the way, the stock market is selling off just because of that news that you were getting from Japan, increasing, their interest rates and stuff like that. C98. I mean, these coins, I even forgot that they still exist. They've crashed really hard, really, really hard. Tecton, okay, we are down as well. No big deal. Microsoft, wow. Really, Microsoft sold off like this? This is insane. Wait a second. This is not too good. Wow, 14% from Microsoft. Wow. Yeah, you are seeing the situation, guys. It really doesn't look like but I think that there is gonna be some kind of mitigation to this guy. At least they've had the weekend. They can come back and discuss something tomorrow. We'll see some kind of a dead cat bounce or something like that. If you are thinking of selling, I don't know, it's your own decision. What I've done like earlier today, I was even talking to Patreon members as well, and I was saying that, look guys, I have some things which I have in profits like Jasmine and stuff like that. I'm gonna be selling off some of my profits because the idea is to make money, right? So I've made money on that. I'm gonna be taking 50% out, and the remaining is gonna be, I'll just see what eventually happens with the market, right? Now, there are also some things which I'm really down on. I'll give an example of Algorand. I'll give an example of Filecoin. I'm really down on those ones. I'm also down on one which is called Synthetics, right? SNX USDT. Now, it really didn't make any sense for me to be selling it at such a loss. I just said, whatever happens. I have been through like bear cycles before. I know how it feels like to be losing something like 90%. It's okay. I will feather the storm, right? So let's see here. Total market cap, yeah, also holding pretty much strongly here. We are seeing that it's coming back to the support level, downward sloping support level here of that channel. And yeah, maybe I should have made a comment on the total market cap of all altcoins, because as I said already, it's not all doom and gloom, right? So let's see the total market cap of crypto, right? Here we go. Now we notice something that is very much clear here, that let's go to the beginning, right? Yeah, let's see the beginning. All right. Yeah, at the very bottom of the chart, you end up seeing that you have these accumulation phases, right? The chart breaks out, right? It heads into some kind of a chill out right here, dropping massively, obviously, before you have a huge rise here. Now, this was also the same situation here, although in the situation it's much wider and it's much longer as well. We are also seeing the price accumulating, breaking out, chilling out right there before we had a huge a rally to the upside. This was also the same situation that we were seeing recently when we had the FTX fiasco and the rest of it, and the market has broken out already. It's chilling out here, and yeah, more likely than not, we will repeat or at least rhyme this kind of thing that we are seeing in the market, and the market will even break this previous all-time high here. I predict that the market will go to something like almost $3 trillion. Oh, sorry, $3 trillion was for altcoins only, right? So in the situation here, let's see where we would be headed. That will be right around $4.4 trillion. And yeah, people may be saying, yeah, $4.4 trillion from where the price is sitting right around 2 point something million dollars is not big. But the thing is that, there is a lot of rotation that goes into the market. Not everything is going to go at the same time, right? Some things will peak, and then after that, some other things will follow too. So this is Mana Decentraland, and it has come back to its massive support levels here. I'm gonna be taking a look at the weekly chart, and guys, this one is looking stronger than a lot of them, because we are seeing like some kind of very strong bullish divergence there. I'll see what I can do here. I'll see what I can do. Maybe some of that cash that I was selling earlier today, I will be putting it into Mana, because when it comes to the weekly time frame here, we've got a nice bullish divergence that is happening there on the monthly as well. Yeah, monthly really doesn't show anything, but this one is trying to hold up strongly. The MACD as well is indicating that at least the Mana bears are losing momentum here. I will have to look at the tokenomics. I'm not really 100% sure if everything is in circulation. I just don't want anything that doesn't have 100% circulation right at this point. I mean, I have a few exceptions, but for the most part, I don't want things which have got inflation. This is Tezos, and it's also one that is indicating a little bit of strength, right? So yeah, that's good news if you ask me, because we don't want to see this massive sell-off. Yeah, in my last live stream, I think I was talking about Naka, and I was predicting some kind of a 20% fall. Yeah, we are getting closer to that right now. Okay, we even dropped as low as here, 70 something, 74 cents. We'll see. Fury, yeah, this one is a good project to short. I will tell you that with the high degree. No, is this the one? If it's the one that is listed on Coinbase and it has futures, this one is a good one to short because it has very bad tokenomics, very bad, terrible tokenomics. XRD, wow, forget about this one. This one, I think I'm in a loss on that one. I don't even want to look at the chart. VeChain, Aerodrome Finance. Aerodrome Finance is just dumping as well with the rest of the market because it has to dump, right? When the market is not doing well, who is trading on that decentralized exchange? Nobody. So when the market starts pumping hard as well, it will do well. XTC, Doge, how is Dogecoin holding up? Wow. Back at that massive support level, underlying indicators not showing any strength. It is going to break that support level. EOS, I mean, these are very dead projects, right? Let's check EOS one more time. Let's see. EOS is at its all-time low right now, all-time low. The indicators are not showing any strength at all, unless and until we have something that just changes drastically in the market between today and tomorrow. Yeah, maybe we could see some change, but for the most part, these things are pretty much beaten. Filecoin, yeah, it's taking a huge hit. The area that would save Filecoin right now, if this carnage continues, is right around $2.63. I'll be there. I'll be holding my Filecoin. As I said already, I'm not going to be doing anything with that because I'm already in a very big loss. So the wiser thing to do, at least in my paradigm, is just to hold. It's not the first time I'm doing anything like this. We have actually had bear cycles before. All right, I see. How long has it been on this live stream, guys? If you don't have much that you want us to take a look at, I think we can simply call it a break for today. And I will come again if I don't sleep. I'll come again, open another live stream, because I understand that not everybody is in the same time zone, and some people would never see this live stream because they're probably sleeping right now. Some people are at work, although it's a Sunday. I mean, we never know people's situations, right? So there likely are not going to be like many individual videos unless and until we get the situation sorted, because it's not going to be wise to make a video on Jasmine which is going to be obsolete in like 2 hours from the time I upload it, right? Or maybe ICP or stuff like that. ICP is actually holding pretty well. I'm impressed with ICP. Jasmine is also holding up pretty well. That zone of support right around 2.3 cents is holding pretty well. That's good. We want to be seeing something like this here, but I will say that the underlying conditions indicators are not really painting a nice picture there. But yeah, let's just hold on until we get to tomorrow. We see what the big guys are going to be deciding, because 100% sure, don't get it twisted, this is not a situation that is isolated to crypto. We are feeling the impacts probably more than anybody else, because our market doesn't close. It's there 24/7. The stock market guys in the stock market right now probably forgot that they lost they lost so much on Friday, right? They will just start worrying about this whole thing tomorrow. But for us, I think yeah, we can already feel the heat, right? So thank you so much for hanging out with me. I will try all my best to bring you the latest information that we are going to be seeing in the market, and yeah, we'll weather the storm together. More than ever, I think it's very much important to be knowing how to trade, right? How to be able to open a short position, how to long, because it's not all the time you will need to just hold things. Sometimes you have to wait for years. Yeah, I know this because I have been through this before, right? So it's also important to be building a stash of cash, you know having like quick trades in and out and stuff like that. And I've actually been developing a course, and I haven't published it to a lot of people. Obviously, I've shared with a few Patreon members, because I wanted them to take a look at it before it goes public and review it. And I can see here that there are 15 people who have participated in this course, and 7 people have rated the course, and they are rating it at 4.3 out of 5. Yeah, seven people rating the course is not really something that is a lot. I mean, I would want more people to enter the course, have early access before everybody else has access, and then they can give me a feedback and tell me how when maybe if there is any improvement that needs to be done, we improve it before it goes to the public. So it's very, very important. Maybe I can give away a coupon code or something like that in the future videos, so that you guys also have an opportunity to go ahead and evaluate the videos that you will see there. There are about 32 videos. I haven't released all of them just yet. I released 8 out of 32. The reason why I did that is I want people to actually follow the progress nice and easy. So that's that. It will be coming right around maybe September or something like that, if I manage to finish editing everything nice and easy. But I think it's very important to learn how to trade, to have short-term trades, ins and outs. It helps you so much when you want to build a stash of cash, right, without actually putting much more money into the market. This market has got so many opportunities that you can be leveraging, as long as you know what you are doing, right? So that's where we are in the market right now. I have to stop here, and then I would have to see you very soon. I don't know when else I can open another live stream, but I really intend on doing that, because now more than ever it's very important to keep you guys informed, and I want you to be able to access me as frequently as possible, right, and as easily as you can. So with that being said, I'll see you on the very next one. Take really, really good care of yourselves. Bye.